The logos for the U.S. Department of Education and RTI International appear. Contextualizing Civics for the Workplace. Montgomery College contextualizes civics content and IELCE activities to prepare learners for IET programs. Video looking up at an angular glass and concrete-fronted building several stories tall, bearing the name Montgomery College. Sheer curtains and interior paint within the windowed portion are soft jade green. The view pans down to street level, where a wide brick sidewalk runs alongside a bustling, tree-lined city street.
At Montgomery College, we always look at what the learners need in the classroom in order to succeed on the job.
The Montgomery College website is shown, focusing in on text describing health career training programs.
Pharmacy tech was developed much like many of our other programs.
The camera focuses in on the pharmacy technician certification program description.
We looked at the labor data, and
Megan Calvert, instructional designer, appears and continues to talk.
Saw that it is a field where students with a short amount of training can
Video clips are shown. Pharmacy workers stock medication.
quickly and easily get jobs in that field, and there's also a lot of room for growth in healthcare.
Montgomery College's Pharmacy Technician IELCE class prepares learners to succeed in their next step, a Pharmacy Technician IET program. Susan Kay, IELCE instructor, appears and speaks.
We really focus on trying to incorporate civics integration that's connected to a specific content area.
A recording of the online Pharmacy Tech IELCE class appears as a grid of webcam views showing people listening and speaking.
So for example, my students, they want to become pharmacy technicians.
A class activity handout on HIPAA vocabulary is shown.
And so this is a pharmacy technician class, and how does civics integration specifically impact the civics engagement and social behavior of a pharmacy technician?
Video clips. Pharmacy workers interact with customers. Adult learners study on laptop computers. Megan Calvert appears and speaks.
I like to think about the idea of civics more in terms of empowerment, so giving students a better understanding of how to operate in the societal systems around them. Culture is a huge part of that, and I think culture gets woven into pretty much everything. So, if the task is get information from customers or patients, then they have to do it in a culturally appropriate way or a workplace appropriate way. They have to do it without asking questions that violate someone's rights, for example.
A recording of the online Pharmacy Tech IELCE class appears.
The goal is for the students to feel.
A screenshot from the class is shared that says, HIPAA privacy rules include how to use a patient's health information, how to disclose a patient's information, and physicians, hospitals, and pharmacies must comply with HIPAA.
That they have a good understanding of their rights and responsibilities in the workplace.
The screenshot moves to the next slide. All types of patient health information are protected under HIPAA and must be kept confidential. Paper information, oral information, and electronic information is encrypted to change the information into a non-readable format.
With the healthcare system, or with pharmacy in particular,
video clips of medication being produced. Tablets spill down automated chutes. Pills are weighed and counted. A conveyor machine applies tops to filled syringe vials.
We do have to start with the larger healthcare system.
Susan Kay appears and speaks.
That's a big topic, right? But we broke it down into its sort of basic components: payers, providers, patients.
Video clips. Pharmacy workers enter information into computers and work with medications.
Medicare, Medicaid, and then the pharmacy, the pharmacy technician's role within that larger system.
A recording of the online Pharmacy Tech IELCE class appears.
The laws, the rules.
A screenshot from the class is shared that says, why does a pharmacy technician need to know the laws connected to her profession?
And there are many policies.
Additional text appears under the question, number 1. Know your job responsibilities so you can do your job well. Number 2, keep patients safe. Correct medicine, correct doses. Number 3, protect confidentiality, keeping personal information private.
That pharmacy technicians need.
The recording moves to the next slide, which says, why is confidentiality important? Additional text appears under the question, protects from theft, stealing, and crimes. Protects from employers, avoids discrimination. Protects from feeling embarrassed.
To, need to understand.
The recording moves to the next slide, which says 1996 Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. Number 1. HIPAA is a federal law passed by Congress in 1996, known by the acronym HIPAA, established the idea of Protected Health Information, PHI, created privacy rules.
And so how do we do that? Through a lot of.
The recording of the online pharmacy tech IELCE class continues. Susan Kay appears and continues speaking.
Role play. Pharmacy technicians need to communicate with lots of people, with patients.
Video clips. Pharmacy workers communicate with patients and coworkers face-to-face and over the phone.
With pharmacists, with other pharmacy technicians, with doctors over the telephone. So we practice a lot. We also work on scenarios. Students look at scenarios that they'll see in their daily work life and evaluating how the pharmacy technician's behavior was appropriate or not appropriate, under the law or under the policies or under the guidelines.
Susan Kay appears and continues speaking.
And that's really a great opportunity for students to sort of see real-life situations and understand what their role is going to be. Sometimes we use case law, case studies to evaluate real things that happened in real time.
Video clip. A hand turns the page of the United States Constitution.
In addition to sort of imaginary scenarios.
My advice to other curriculum developers would be
Megan Calvert appears and speaks.
To try a backwards design approach and focus on the end goals. So think about what students need to be able to do to get the job.
Video clips. Individual pharmacy workers look at the camera and smile.
And to be successful on the job, to keep the job, really focus on the industry content area first, and then think about what language flows out of that, what language needs flow out of that.
Megan Calvert appears and continues speaking.
Break that down into different components as needed. And then also think about the civics and the cultural aspects and the rights and responsibilities that all flow out of that actual performance on the job.
Video clips of adults, including Susan Kay, working on laptops.
I think understanding your place in a society is really important. And by introducing a civics component in an ESOL classroom,
Susan Kay appears and continues speaking.
Students are really able to start to learn where they fit.
The Enhancing Access for Refugees and New Americans logo appears. Text appears that says, learn more about contextualizing civics instruction and IELCE activities by visiting the Enhancing Access for Refugees and New Americans Project web pages at www.lincs.ed.gov. This video was developed by the Enhancing Access for Refugees and New Americans Project with funding from the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education, OCTAE, contract number GS004C/919-90021F0348. The opinions expressed herein do not necessarily represent the positions or policies of the U.S. Department of Education, and no official endorsement by the U.S. Department of Education should be inferred.